Car's up on 2 jack stands. Thought about putting it up on all 4, but in the end we'll just take all of them off anyway, and I can see what I need to see from under here. So we're seeing a lot of moisture off the end of the transmission. We have the throttle linkage here, and that is the parking brake mechanism, and the cables here basically look unrusty. Amazing. So way back in the day, back when I got the car and I rebuilt the engine, I had pipes bent up because the pipes that were with the car were completely rotted out. And the guy used a card on his pipe bending machine to form the pipes. They turned out quite nicely. I'll swing around. And I got some new turbo mufflers back then, and they galvanized, still working out, so won't have to change. There's a nice view of a brake hose. Get a better light on that. That is a new brake line. That is not a new brake line. Okay, we're looking at the drive shaft, and does not appear to be any looseness in the joint. There it is, well lubricated. So one of the things that I did notice is that one thing I did notice that at some point I jacked the car up, and you can see that I jacked it up on that control arm and bent that. One of my doofus moments. Now, something I wanted to make functional is the fuel storage and delivery. And look at that. A very new looking fuel pump. So I will be disconnecting the hoses and blowing them out, and then installing a fuel filter before the fuel pump, and hopefully that will provide enough protection that I don't ruin my fuel pump if it is still functioning. We shall see. So since these fuel hoses are extremely old and brittle, my plan is just to cut them and remove them and replace them. Easier to remove them if they're cut. They were probably new well, obviously they were new at some point, but new like 15 years ago when I worked on this car in Virginia. So everything is dry. Get the right socket to loosen the clamps. Alright, whose bright idea was it to aim this in a direction that was not easy to get this, in effect, nut driver on. It does appear to be a new brake line on there, given the scale in which it was bent. Sarcasm. I guess if I had a shorter socket, that would be nice. Does not have enough light. Where does that hose go? That is a return somewhere. Probably at the carburetor. But again, I want to replace that hose too. So this is definitely the feed from the fuel tank. So I'll leave that hose on and then attempt to blow some air down it. To tighten this one again and try blowing some air. So I removed the gas cap on the tank. Oh, hell. Interesting. I think what I'll do is stick a stick in the fuel filler and see if it comes up wet. So I have a hose rather than a stick. And we'll slide this in. It is not empty. There's quite a bit of wetness. It could just be all along the bottom. Car is now up on 4 jack stands, and I have vigorously attempted to shove the car off the jack stands so that the jack stands do their job and hold the car above the crushing position of my body. So I went and pressurized the gas tank with the hose and a rag wrapped around it at the inlet, and all it did was blow up the gas tank. Well, it didn't blow it up, it inflated, that's a better word, the gas tank. So there definitely is a clog somewhere. Okay, I guess it's better than saying all right. When I take and put air through this hose, what I noticed down there is that I was getting air. If I held it in tight with 2 hands, that is. I was getting movement of spider webs down there. And if I turn this way back into the tank. There we go. I'm definitely getting air blowing into the tank. So why? I don't know. Why it wasn't working before, can't say. But it appears good for now. So we'll replace that hose, which is the larger diameter of the two, so that will be the supply side as opposed to the return side. And do the same at the fuel pump with a filter. And now that the tank is flat, we'll try to suck some of the nasty gas out from inside, as opposed to the other option, which is to remove the whole. Put some line on that. Remove the sender and fuel pickup assembly from here, which would necessitate more than likely another gasket, plus it's a pain in the butt to do. So we'll go from here. Alright, so in order to get this off of here, we're just going to cut down the pipe, or down the hose. Alright, here's the removed supply hose, and lo and behold, it says right there, 5/16. So I don't think that the one coming into the fuel pump is the same though, but that's what I'm going to remove now. So here are the hoses that were at or near the fuel pump. This one here is the return. I'm going to remove the air cleaner and also take stock of what other hoses underneath there, vacuum or gas, that I should be replacing. These are the two halves of the supply side. So I have a SAE 30R7 on one side. Hopefully this side gives a size. It does not appear to. It doesn't appear that there was enough there. But given that the opening here should be unstretched, then I will use that as the diameter to go with. Let's see if we can find the other end to the return line. I found it. It is off of the fuel filter. So the fuel filter has got, interestingly enough, a tap on it. So there, I'll try to stay out of the light. Fuel filter, and the hose coming off of the side of the fuel filter is the return. Interesting fuel filter. Trying to make shopping list. So we've looked at this one, and fuel vacuum line. I think I found it on one of these pieces that it said 1/4 inch. So the length, I'll go, that is 5 to where the cut is. So I'll cut this, another 13, 16, 17, 22 inches long, 1/4 inch. Two inches. And 6.5. So we'll round that up to 18 inches. And that we know was 5/16. 18 inches. So let's